Hello and welcome everybody to the First Circuit Podcast 75,000. This week we have ISC by Aces Wild Tournament Season 2, Warhammer IIC Event Mech Challenges, a Weekend Warrior event and versus Mech sales, MW Comp Tryhard sales and event, Patch Notes review, Warhammer IIC Impressions, and roadmap for March, April, and May. Coming up next. And we're joined by Biter,
Blarg,
Ian,
Good morning.
and myself, Old Bob 10025. Hello, Old Bob. Hello. Sometimes it's so hard to actually get people from all around the world to be on at the same time. And so this podcast might be a little bit different as our special guest from Aces Wild, we had to splice the questions. We had them set up ahead of time, and then they had to answer those questions in different formats. And so it might be different, so just let you guys know about that. And here we go for Aces Wild. Tonight we have Callan Farstar from Aces Wild. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
hello. My call sign is Callan Farstar. I am the commanding officer of the Aces Wild. It's a casual and semi-competitive unit of mech warriors that play MWO and the other BattleTech genres like BattleTech and Mechwarrior 5 when it comes out here soon. We're one of the larger units in MWO. We've been around since 2013. We have about 150 active members and anywhere from 12 to 24 pilots dropping every night between Eastern Prime Time and Pacific Prime Time. The Aces Wild is much more about camaraderie and having fun than any particular skill level, although we do pride ourselves on being really well coordinated, organized, having good tactics, playing well together. And so we'll get up there and surprise you if you're not paying attention. We're also much better at brawling than the long-range game, though a lot of us have been working on that and then trying to improve our skills all the way across the board, particularly in competitive matches. We played a lot in MRBC. In fact, I think we were there for all seasons but one, and have pretty good overall standings in MRBC. We're going to continue doing MOR and then also ISC as it comes out here in the future.
So tell us, how'd you get into Mechwarrior?
I got into Mechwarrior with the first game as a video game. I had played BattleTech for several years before that game came out in the late 80s and early 90s. Then I continued with Crescent Hawk's Inception and Revenge. I played Mechwarrior 2, Mechwarrior 2 Mercenaries, Mechwarrior 3, Mechwarrior 4, now MWO, Mechwarrior 5. I did not get a chance to do anything with Living Legends. I was actually away and not able to have internet for a while that was out and happening. So that's kind of unfortunate. But I've been a BattleTech fan pretty much since I was about 12 or 14.
Yeah, actually, most of the people that I talked to, they've gotten into BattleTech through the video game, and then some actually got from the board game itself. So tell us about this league that you're forming.
The Inner Sphere Coalition was started by Black Phoenix, the original founding commanding officer of the Aces Wild, and myself in approximately 2014. And it was a league or tournament, really more of a tournament, set up to allow the semi-competitive teams that weren't at the top tier at the time a chance to get together and have a competition where they're all competing on the same level. And 34 teams competed, and it turned out pretty good. There was a lot of logistics involved, and it was a lot of great matches, and I think all the teams really worked well together and had fun. We wanted to do a season 2 the next year, but Faction Warfare came out about that time, and we got highly involved with that, so we were unable to conceive of, in the imminent future, what ISC season 2 would look like. And now it seems like a good time. The Aces Wild is pretty prepared to be able to host something of this size again. And there's a little bit of a vacuum in the competitive scene with MRBC going away. And so we thought this might be a good opportunity to start it back up.
for everyone. I'll leave the links down below in the description, so check it out, guys. So tell us, who can actually be inside the league for the IRC?
ISC Season 2 is actually going to be a little different than ISC Season 1 in that with the first one being a semi-competitive tournament only, Season 2 is actually going to be open to 3 divisions, A, B, and C. A division, the competitive division, will be teams that are at the higher tier of competition. These teams would include about what you'd expect out of the top 12 qualifiers for the World Championship. And the middle range, the B division is going to be the semi-competitive teams like Cameron Highlanders, Aces Wild, some of the teams that didn't quite make the top cut for the World Championships, but also participate in other mid-grade divisions in MRBC and MOR and BFM. And so we'll put them kind of in there. And I'm kind of expecting the bulk of our teams to be in that division. It'll really depend on who all signs up. C division is teams that are completely new to competitive play or have never played together, who want to give it a go, want to be part of the competition, maybe want to learn. Maybe this is a good jumping off point for some of the newer players to MWO to get a chance to give it a try and see kind of like how they match up and maybe see where they might want to go in the future. So we're giving that up as a division, just to see how things play out.
Now, like, every league has rules, and so, like, what are the rules for your league for the IRC?
To go through a detailed list of the rules would take quite a bit of time, but some of the basics are it's going to be Inner only, Mechs only available for C-Bill. There will be a map rotation. It's going to be best out of 5 matches in double elimination tournament, and those are pretty much the basics. Everything will be a lot more detailed, and we'll have that up on the website so you can peruse it. I know a lot of people are already complaining, well, what, no clan mechs? And it's like, well, no, it's the Inner Sphere Coalition, so it's for Inner Sphere mechs. And that also eliminates any kind of questions of, one tech being overpowering over the other. And then there is also questions about, like there's not a scaled weight per drop. So it's 325 tons per drop. And that's really to kind of keep the battles consistent and keep how people are performing consistent, and also keep it simple, because this is really more of a semi-competitive versus a really high competitive, where you want to tease out the really different skill levels of different pilots based on tonnage.
You had me at Inners for only. So, how long will the league be going on for, and when does it start?
The tournament's going to start on May 1st, and the number of weeks that it's going to last will really depend on how many teams sign up and how the brackets kind of fall into place. Once we get closer to May 1st, I'll have a better idea. But each round will last one whole week, 7 days, where each teams that get assigned to each other will have those 7 days to come up with a drop day and get all 5 matches done, and then submit the results to the admins, which will then be posted at the end of that week.
And so, like, what are some of the prizes for the IRC event?
There will be prizes. To what prizes we're going to hand out, I can't really say yet. It'll definitely be for the winners of each division, possibly second and third place too. We're thinking initially that MC gift codes would be the likely prize, but also we might reach out to the community and some of the different pilots we know. Maybe some 3D printed minis or something like that would be also really cool to give out.
What was the IRC like last time?
So the last time we did ISC was, like I said, back in 2014, and it went quite well. We had 34 units that participated. There's actually a challenge bracket that you can access on our website, and it has the winners listed out. First place went to 228th, and it was their acolyte group. So they're junior people learning how to play the game that we're playing, with a couple of their veterans as drop callers. They did quite well. Blackhawk Mercenaries are right on their heels, and they did a fantastic job, and it was really close. And number 3 was the Templar Mercenary Corps, and they were also really good. Our Best performance from Aces Wild was 5th with the 2nd Battalion Aces Wild, and that was my group. And we gave it everything we could, but the other teams were definitely they brought the fight, and it showed. If you think you might want to join ISC Season 2, it's pretty easy to get to our website. It is www.the-aces.com. And from there's a link in the upper right-hand corner that'll take you right to the ISC homepage, which will have all the rules, the current participants and roster, the Season 1 results, and a bunch of other information. So I highly encourage you to go to that website, and it's a good place to start and look into it.
Well, thank you, Callan Farstar from Aces Wild. We do appreciate you being on the First Circuit podcast, and you're real welcome to come back again. I really did enjoy your conversation about the IRC. I might check it out myself.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity, and see everybody out there on the battlefield.
And like always, everybody, I'll have the information in the description down below. So first we have the Warhammer 2C event Mech challenges. So did you guys actually do the Warhammer 2C Mech challenge, or just do the paint job one?
Well, all I did was pre-order the standard pack. So for me, it was easy enough to do, but all I'm getting is C-bills.
Yeah, actually, same thing with me too. Like I just did the paint job just to get it on all my mechs.
I mean, I did pre-order the Mech, but I currently just can't be bothered with events. I'm sorry, people.
So like event out then?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah, actually, same thing with me too. But like, what do you think about these standard pack challenges? Like when the new mech comes out, like, are they any good or anything, or do you think they should change those?
I think they're pretty good. I mean, they're easy enough to do. You get some extra stibbles to deck out your brand new mechs, so I think it's a good idea, and it encourages people to play their new toys even more. So,
okay.
Sure.
I think we should have some type of like extra thing or something.
I mean, more stuff would be nice for their paying customers, but it's you don't want to go too crazy, and at least the C-bills do recoup the cost. The paint scheme for the pre-order of the Warhammer was just the Sherman pattern, and if you get the collector's pack, you get the Woodland pattern, which are both kind of not that interesting paint schemes in my personal opinion. It's always nice if at least in pre-order or with the event, if you splashed out enough to get the collector's pack, unlocking something like the Buccaneer or the Franken pattern, even just the Tartan pattern or a faction pattern would be much more interesting than two different variations of blobby mech.
Or hear me out, you could get a selection of pattern. But yeah, I totally agree with you, but I put on the pre-order pattern on all of my mechs because that's what I always do. First thing I get them, put on the pattern, put on colors, and then I noticed that without the pattern, they look way better than the pre-order pattern. So yeah, none of my Warhammers have pattern now.
I actually don't mind the Crusader pattern. It's not, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's kind of cool. The Woodland one's kind of like, I don't like that one that, like that much. But the Crusader is not too bad.
It does. It came with the Sherman, though.
Oh,
right?
Sherman. Okay, never mind. Like, I thought we were talking about the Crusader. The Sherman pattern, yeah, that's okay. I think I get. Go on.
It certainly looks alright on some mechs. I just don't think on a Warhammer the Sherman looks any decent. I much prefer the slim lines of the original paint job.
I find I'm a little annoyed in terms of its paint scheme because sort of every single plate has sort of a grey outline, and no matter the paint scheme, that grey outline is always there, which sort of determines a lot of how the mech looks like, rather than the paint you're using. So I must admit, actually, all of mine currently have the Sherman pattern, just because I kind of like the camo scheme look, and a lot of them have different variations of camo. So yeah, one has sort of a woodland camo, one has a kind of black and blues, so it's kind of like a naval pattern, and then one has a kind of a desert pattern on it. All just using Sherman.
One thing also that was really nice about the Warhammer 2C challenge was that for the bonus, the holiday bonus variant that you got, just for logging on, they actually had a thing for that, and that was really good that they did that. So you get an extra million C-bills just for playing the mech that you got for free.
I didn't even notice that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I thought that was really neat.
Yep. The bonus for pre-ordering and the freebie one and all of those you can get a fair amount of C-bills to try and make up all the costs of buying those XL engines and
Yeah.
turning them all to have standard armor. All right, we sort of missed last week the what was it Weekend
Yeah, the Weekend
Weekend
Warriors.
Warriors event and the versus Mech sale.
Let's go to the Weekend Warriors first, and we'll do the Mech sale.
Do you guys do any of the Weekend Warriors?
I did most of it. Apparently, I missed out on the two ones I actually wanted to finish by 1 KMDD each. But
Oh god. I did most of them. Like the only two I didn't finish were the light and the medium. I just couldn't. I just didn't have time to go and do those. I mean, it's great because it's actually just playing the game. You get really cool stuff, but you got to play it a lot just to get just to go finish like all these. If they would have toned it down just a tiny bit, I would have finished everything. But I'm not a completist, so it doesn't really matter too much. But still, it's like I want to get that MC type thing. But
I quite liked.
Go ahead, better.
I quite like the event. It's been a while since any event has offered premium time, and at least when I started the game, I sort of I waited until events came on. I played them, and if I got premium time, I would then try and get the most value out of it, and it was a great way to get me into the game. And for quite some time now, they've not been offering that. They've been only offering like C-bills, cockpit items, MC,
yeah,
which is nice, but it doesn't keep me playing after I've done the event. So this one just earn 50 match score or greater, get 3 days of premium time. I'm quite a fan of. At least I of course now pre-order every mech pack every month, so I don't have any problems with premium time. But to keep your more free-to-play players in, those who don't always buy every mech pack, I really like giving that thing away.
Yep.
oh yeah,
The medium heavy assault etc challenges is nice. Just you play the game and you eventually get a whole bunch of C-bills. The amount of work you need to do to get them, though, it was a bit much. It was just sort of an extra added bonus. The biggest thing was the weapon challenges, doing all the pulse lasers for each faction or doing all the ultra cannons for each faction.
yeah. Well, one thing that happened on my alt account, which I mainly premium or did this mostly, was since I don't have a lot of clan equipment, I had to purchase like the Ultra AC-20s and that kind of stuff. So like it cost,
expensive.
yeah, it started getting really expensive, and so like I pretty much came equal, but I wanted the MC and the stand-in items, and that's pretty much what I did. But yeah, I went from like 7 million down to 1 million, then back up to like 2 million or something like that, and it was hard.
Yeah. So for this particular event, I mean, I always like the Weekend Warriors. They're usually fairly easy to do. I also like the weapon events. They don't require that much damage done, so it's not the kind of nuisance you usually have when you have goals like do 1,000 damage with worms, which results in a giant shit show. Like this time, it was little enough that I didn't feel bothered by an overpresence of pulse lasers, for example. The main gripe I have with this particular challenge is the fact they didn't tone down the light challenge compared to the assault challenge.
Yeah.
Which usually they do. This time they didn't. And I just couldn't be bothered getting 20 kills or KMDDs in a light mech. I like light mechs, but I don't like them that much. No, I'm gonna grind this.
Yeah, I do agree with you on that one. That's a little bit much, man. 20 kills or KMDDs is for a light mech is hard for a lot of us. Not for some people, but for a lot of us, it's pretty hard to do. Fighter.
Yeah.
Street Raven.
If you're Piranha pilot, for example, sure, you get that easy. But if you play a proper light mech in a support role, you're not gonna get a lot of kills or KMDDs.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it was interesting how everything played out because everyone is throwing together, at least on the weekend, everyone was throwing together builds to use, like sometimes all the DACA at once or all the pulse lasers.
I did that
There's
too.
a lot of little guys running around with like micropulse, small pulse and whatnot, trying to just get their damage in. There was a lot of pandemonium, but it was also quite fun.
I did the same thing. I put on like a insert small pulse, large pulse, medium pulse, and just went to town and get as much damage as possible. I did the same exact thing.
Yeah, and the same thing is also with the Dakar, that there's
Yeah.
lots of weird Dakar boats out there with lasers strapped to the side. It's just, okay, buddy.
Exactly. But like all in all, though, like it was an easy one to do. It was kind of nice just to chill out and not have to like worry about some things. Just the light one was kind of hard with the 20 kills. It came to these. I didn't even bother with that one. It's like I'm not gonna deal with that. Didn't get a chance to finish off the medium challenge like with my alt account, but I finished everything else though, so it wasn't. It was kind of fun to do though.
Yeah. Lastly, just to catch up from last week, there was the versus Mech sales. Did any of you guys check that out?
Yeah, I did. I picked up
Yes.
was it one of the Uziels and a Panther. I picked up one of those and or each basically, and yeah, I got another Panther and I got another like Uziel, so it was kind of nice. It was kind of nice to do that. I always like sales. Sales are good.
Yeah, sales are good. I mean, there's much sense in talking about the best mechs and such because the sale's over, but yeah, there were a couple good ones in there. If you picked them up, good on you.
I was going to, if we would have covered it last week, I was going to ask at least. Okay, Annihilator versus Kodiak, who do you think would win on average?
I really don't play assaults. Like I know I have a Kodiak. Well, I got the whole pack of the Kodiak, and I got one Annihilator. So I don't know. Like I haven't really used Annihilator though.
I'm gonna say the Annihilator, but I'm not sure at all.
Usually, yeah, I would say the Annihilator wins. It's just got the better shape. Like the Kodiak's got these huge, broad shoulders, and it has all those survival quirks, which means both of them are taking a huge LBX 10 loadout or something like that, and both are slugging each other. But the Annihilator can just take that many more licks, and it spreads the damage a lot better. The only advantage the Kodiak somewhat has is its very good peaking profile. So it's sort of like the Kodiak has to hide behind a hill and hope it can outshoot the Annihilator before the Annihilator absolutely runs it over. But on average, the Annihilator wins that matchup. Thanatos versus Nightjear.
I mean, that one's given. Right.
To which one?
I would say the Nightjear.
Like, there's no way Thanatos is going to win against a Nightjear.
It really depends on the loadouts. I would say the Thanatos often has a lot, particularly one variant has very strong survival quirks. And again, in a 1v1 environment, particularly if you get the Thanatos with, 6 missile hardpoints, you load it up with SRM6s, it rounds a corner and finds the Nightjear, it's going to eat that Nightjear for breakfast. In a group queue environment, sure, the Nightjear is a better sniper, but the Thanatos is actually still a fairly solid mech.
Black Lantern versus Uziel.
Both lose.
I like the Uziel. It's a fun mech to play, but yeah, the torsos are one of the major problems, like with that mech. The Black Lantern, I haven't really used that one that much though.
I mean, they're both fun, but the Uziel is suboptimal in survival. The Black Lantern is suboptimal in offense.
In pod space, yes.
Yeah.
Neither of them is really duelist, I think.
In a 1v1, the Black Lantern can do a lot more with micro pulse and the like. It can take a brick laser arm on the right arm.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And with its superior agility, getting point blank, it will be probably quite able to duel the Uziel very well. In a group queue environment, where it's team versus teams, the Uziel is a much better support mech, at least in some sense, because you can take you're not stuck with just that limited pod space. It's that 10% range. You can throw in a Gauss rifle, 4 medium lasers or 6 medium lasers, whatever, and the Uziel can do an okay job.
Yeah, definitely. Cougar versus Panther.
That one provides me pain. I would love to say the Cougar, but the Panther with its survival and medium pulse laser builds are probably far superior in a 1v1.
I think though, like with the Cougar though, it has more of a advantage as far as taking different weapon systems compared to the Panther, because you're pretty much limited on where the arms are or the way the weapon systems are, and then also like your quirks are mainly for the PPC and then the medium pulse lasers. Compared to the Cougar, that can actually take a lot of different types of weapon systems, can be more variable compared to the Panther. But the Panther is kind of, I think it's quicker, I'm not sure, than the Cougar. Because most of the weapon systems on the Panther are right in the arms compared to the Cougar, which has them like all over the place.
Not necessarily. You can put a lot of lasers in the torso for the Panther.
In the torso? No. It's always on the arms.
Only missile in the
only
center
missiles,
torso.
yeah.
And then energy or ballistic arm.
My mistake. I was thinking of the Volthound. I take back my earlier statement, and I'm gonna go with the Cougar in a long range scenario.
I'll have to go with the Cougar. I love the Panther, but I'll have to go with the Cougar in this one though, because it's more versatile.
I mean, it really, of course, always depends on builds. Like the Cougar could just take Street 24 and then sort of waddle towards the Panther and smack it down to pieces. Whereas the Panther does stand a good chance with it's got very strong survival for MPL and something like an SRM6. It can brawl pretty convincingly. So it's a tough one to call. I would say on average, at least the Cougar is much more flexible with builds, and in a 12v12, quick play environment, the Cougar is a lot more flexible. But I at least have a sweet spot for the Panther.
I got a sweet spot for the Panther as well too. I like the Panther. It's pretty cool.
Also, randomly in the Versus sale at the very bottom, they say Supernovas are 50% off as well.
Oh my god, I would have completely missed that.
Oh Jesus.
I completely missed it until people started asking me for boiler builds. The Supernova hero.
Oh jeez.
So nice enough sale. A lot of these, the Annihilator is sort of the most meta mech of the lot. You don't see too many Thanatoses, Uziels, Black Lannas, Cougars, or Panthers around.
No.
And I really like that at least the Supernova also went on sale, particularly since the patch notes introduced heat scale limit quirk for the hero. All right, let's move on to this week's sale and event.
A try-hard sale and event. Yeah, I haven't. Actually, I did play a little bit. Got a couple things. The components destroyed, that's kind of hard. With 100 components destroyed for the damage level 3, but it is kind of nice you get 200 MC. Kill assists, you just run around and shoot things. Kills level 1, 2, and 3. Match score 1, 2, and 3. And victory 1, 2, and 3. I do think that the earn 20 victories for victory level 3, because the night I was doing this, I was literally getting out of 10 games 2 victories. So it was kind of really crappy. So I don't think they should really do it on victories. They should base it off of a match score or something like that, which they did for the I think for the one above here. But it was just hard, man. It's hard getting those, and that creates a lot of salt from people when they start losing games, because they're just one away from getting the 20. Like they're at 19, and then they're playing like 6 games where they start losing and losing. It just creates a lot more salt. At least I think, because when I get to 2,
This gives away, a token amount of C-bills for the small amount of effort, but it's that final prize where you get 200 MC that you really want to sort of work for. But each one of them it's quite a hill to climb. It's a lot of games, at least for your average player, I imagine. Even so, some stuff like it's asking for 100 components destroyed. That's that's a lot of bits of mechs for enough. I kind of wish there was more time for this one. Just at least for the scope they're asking for, and I struggle somewhat to justify it. I liked much more last week, where they gave away some premium time. At least just at the start, you do one match, you get 3 days premium time. Oh, thanks! Now, all that time I'm grinding, the damage done, the kills done, the match score done. I'm doing it with a 50%, boost. At least, if you aren't pre-ordering every mech pack every month, I think that would have been a really nice way to sweeten the deal. As it is, it's I much more enjoyed mucking about with pulse lasers and UX.
I like the general idea of the event, that it's stuff you don't have to build mechs for, you just do it along as you go. I think the reason this event is not that well received is because people are completionists.
Yeah.
If you're fine with just doing it as you go and don't really care about getting the final prize, then it's a great event. If you really want a final prize, then it's gonna get frustrating.
Well, yeah, 20 victories, man. Like I have so many. I play so many matches where they they went salt crazy and then they left. It's just like, because we didn't go a certain spot, didn't win the game or something like that. And the 20 victories, that's harsh, man, because you're looking at a ratio probably going to play probably about 60 games before you get that 20. And that's a lot of games. That's a lot of time invested into playing the game, especially if you're a casual type person where you don't have time to go play these games.
Yeah, it's asking for a huge investment for the wins. It does itch my annoying completionist side. I want to complete it all, but I'm also like, this is such a huge mountain to climb, and I'm not getting that much reward for it. Do I want to even start on this mountain?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, maybe the 10 victories, that's okay. You get that, no problem, kind of. But the other stuff, that's just harsh to do. 20 victories, it's really bad.
Well, at least the name is apt. You do really have to try hard for this event.
Well, yeah. The match score is pretty easy to do. Just pop in a couple AMS systems and you're good to go, pretty much. Let's see, match score, and the damage is pretty easy to do. 100 kills or KMDDs. That's harsh.
Well, the nice thing about kills, KMDDs, damage done, match score is you're always making progress towards it. Whereas victories is a very all or nothing scenario, and it can sometimes feel, it's out of your control, that you have to rely on the other 11 people to carry their weight a lot of the time.
Well, also too, it's like that, like with the UAV events, basically, shoot down some UAVs. You're competing against 11 other people on your team to shoot down that UAV. And then it's just like you said, not under your control to go ahead and do anything. You have to wait till someone else pops up a UAV from the other team. I never did like those.
I feel like Bob is bringing this up every single week.
I know.
I feel you're bothered by this, Bob.
I hate that, man. So many times, damn it.
Mech, that's fun to for those UAV events. I usually take out a Panther with PPC in the arm.
But it's like, yeah, I do bring that up a lot, huh? Especially every event. No UAVs, damn it.
All right, and the other component part to this was the Try Hard sale.
I don't think did I purchase something? No, I don't think I actually purchased anything from the sale. No, actually, I did get a dragon. I got the 5N. I got that for my alt account.
All right. Once again, it's a whole bunch of mechs for 50% off. Good time to pick them up and whatnot. I found it interesting. They've updated, I think, on their store page, the interface. What it used to do was sort of have, when you go to the store at the homepage, there's page upon page of all the mechs that are on sale and all the bolt-ons. And it used to be, we're going to offer flags. They're 50% off, and so we're going to have every single flag individually listed for each mech as 50% off. Whereas now on the sale page, it's just one of each bolt-on, and you click like add to cart, and it brings up a whole list of mechs, and you can tick which ones you want and click OK, which is a lot more. It's a lot less cluttered than it used to be.
I did notice that actually.
They introduced that feature with the Vapor Eagle. At least it definitely existed at that point.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, the bolt-on is this pack thing you put on the back of your mech. It's not very noticeable. It's not as ostentatious as you could wish. Though, hey, a bolt-on for 250 MC, that's almost like the price I would hope bolt-ons were normally at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the flags were 250, right?
I guess they're 500. I don't look at the bolt-ons that often, honestly.
I think I picked them.
All of them are 1500 and call them too expensive. Boom.
Yeah, true.
Oh no, they're 250 each. That's good.
Okay, that's not too bad then.
And then all you need to do is equip all three, so that, on your mechs to make them really silly looking. But that's 750 MC each. I should put that. The Skokomish, we like putting the wings on it. Can you put the wings and some flags just for extra?
Oh my god!
2 wings and a flag in the middle. Yeah. Oh god. Right. Oh jeez.
So beside the bolt-ons, we had 7 days premium time. I personally don't know anyone who's ever bought premium time with MC, but also mech base were 50% off. So if you got them on sale, good on you.
Yeah, so by the time this airs, it will be off sale. So just let you know too.
Except for the second part, which will finish the day this podcast goes live, March 4th at 4 p.m. Pacific. So if you want to pick up the Mechs the second you hear this, you might still have a chance. The Mech base are going to be off at that point.
So at 4 a.m. when I put this out, you have 12 hours.
There you go.
So yeah, cool, man. Yeah, good stuff. Always happy to go ahead and have some great sells that they do. Like we always say, the bolt-ons are way expensive for what they do. They should bring that down a little bit, and people start actually buying them. I think because that's a main complaint I hear from everybody. Okay, so next is patch notes review.
Yep, just all the stuff that was introduced in last month's patch. Or late in covering it, but it's always good to at least go over what we can. For the most part, there wasn't many big changes on last month's patch, I don't think. Minor buff to HMG ammo amounts kind of thing, little heat scale limit quirks added to a few mechs here and there. I would just personally say, at least for the patch notes, I really enjoyed the Highlander, the 3 PPCs. It's a surprisingly fun mech to use. It's whenever you're using something like the Warhawk with 4 PPCs, you have to fire 2, wait a good amount of time, then press the other 2. It's always good to build that habit because you don't want to instantly fall asleep.
Yeah.
With the ghost heat.
Just explode straight away.
Yeah. So it actually quite increases your face time by doing 2 and 2, whereas this one, you press the button, all 3 fly out, and you instantly twist and move away, and it feels great. And you're doing 45 damage every single time. The convergence is still awful, and the hard points are still not that great. But yeah, I've actually had a lot of fun with that Highlander. And I haven't fiddled. I threw together a boiler build, but I'm just so much happier with my original one. Did you guys use any of the UAC 20 quirks?
No, I didn't actually. Yeah, I didn't. Because I don't really have a supernova. I haven't got one yet. I think I only have one Highlander 2C, but it's not the A. So it really didn't affect me that much.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, biggest thing that was introduced in last patch was, of course, the Warhammer 2C. What is your impressions of the Warhammer 2C?
It wasn't bad. There's better mechs out there. It's smaller, which is kind of like interesting. They have a lot of like energy builds, which is standard for the clans for a second line mech. But it wasn't bad, wasn't good. It's kind of like it's one of the things like if you got it, cool. Go toss out some builds out there. The one thing that everyone did love was a missile one, because you went crazy with the missiles. At least everyone did, and so like most of the builds were like like pulse lasers and ATMs, and that's what I noticed a lot of builds were. And then some had jump jets. I think it was the which one was it?
The hero.
Yeah, the hero had jump jets, and so you could jump up, shoot your ATMs, and then jump back down or have the medium pulse lasers. It does have paper thin armor. I did notice a lot of times if you get focused, you're pretty much done. So you really have to, just like in the clans, you really have to use this as a second line mech compared to Omni mechs. But it wasn't bad, wasn't good. It's there. I give it a fair rating, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm gonna join you on that statement. It's a solid mech. I wouldn't say it's a great mech, especially since it doesn't really fit my playstyle. I don't like laser woman that much, so I instantly defaulted to the missile one, which was pretty fun, but still not the best mech I've ever played. The main thing that actually bothered me about Warhammer 2C was the fact that when it released, somehow everyone was playing Laser Vomit.
Yeah,
even the people who didn't play the Warhammer 2C, they just jumped in their Hellbringers, their even Jaguars, and they just brought all the lasers, and it was so annoying. So on patch day, I played for like 2 hours, and then I just logged off for the next 4 days before I touched the mech again.
One thing I want to go and say though, like the first match I played, like once I got the Warhammer 2C pack, was like I think like 18 Warhammer 2Cs. It's like, oh my god,
yes,
they're all over the place. It was crazy, but
yes,
yeah,
people definitely liked it.
Yeah.
didn't have on those first 2 hours, I didn't have a game with less than 10 Warhammers overall.
Yeah, the first I think day was you had minimum 12 basically, like on from both teams. But yeah, it's an okay mech. It's there's better ones out there, especially laser vomit ones. Like the Hellbringer and stuff like that.
Yeah, overall it seems like a fairly solid mech. It came out and it was incredibly teeny for what it is, compared to other chassis out there. I wouldn't be surprised, and I think I heard some rumblings that they will rescale the mech, because it is just so small. Like it looks a little smaller sometimes than even just the inner sphere Warhammer, which is 10 tons lighter, or supposed to be 10 tons lighter. I think at least in our group, yes, we very much more enjoy just the missile Warhammer 2C. And with 5 or 4 missile hardpoints, it can be a pretty potent missile or brawler, missile boat in general. There's not too many options, at least for the clan sometimes. You have to go and get the Scorch or the Mad Cat Mark II to get 4 missile hardpoints. So yeah, plenty of laser vomit stuff, and I think I've seen plenty using it with PPCs. I personally didn't have I do agree with Ian. There was a lot of laser vomit on the day, but I just sort of took mechs that either brawled really well or had like PPCs. They just do some good smack damage on the target. And I had lots of fun with that. And on theme night, I said, okay, what we should do? Everyone's thinking Warhammer 2C. Well, let's take our last mech packs flavor that came out, Chargers. And whilst that didn't really happen, I said, the Charger is also 80 tons. It's really tanky, but just take brawlers, just get in their faces and use some flamers, and all their firepower disappears. And we had a lot of fun with brawlers and flamers, where we would just absolutely shut down Warhammer 2Cs. They're taking PPC builds, like 4 PPCs, and you take a flamer, 2 flamers to that, and they're having a good time. They do less than 100 damage every match. It was glorious. I really liked brawling against the clan meta. They're all trying to snipe, and then suddenly we just come over the hill with our flamers and SRMs, and they just explode. They evaporate so quickly.
True. Well, that's what happens when you bring all laser build and you don't really test it out on the field, or have it run really, really hot. And then some shenanigan person brings a bunch of flamers like us and shut you down, just kill you.
I'd say also everyone got the Bludgeon, the free Warhammer 2C. It's the weakest in terms of hardpoints, it feels like. Only 5 energy hardpoints to work with and 1 missile. It can take jump jets though, and I've been mucking around with that thing with maximum jump jets, 2 PPCs, and an ATM 12, and it's surprisingly fun. Nobody expects the flying 80 tonner.
Yeah, I know.
I've got a very similar build, and surprisingly, I did have a lot of fun, especially since this mech is by far the prettiest Warhammer. I love this. I love the golden shimmer.
Yeah, actually, it's pretty cool.
It's so great. But I do assume you also have a head flamer.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's a very important part of this mech. You do need a head flamer. It just looks ridiculous.
How did you know?
God.
All my Warhammer 2Cs have an extra flamer on for those times you get caught in close quarters environment and you want to have a huge edge, i.e. they shut down and you don't. We're not the biggest clan mech players, but this is a fairly solid clan mech. I think the torso mounts are pretty good, though sometimes I am caught out by how low the torso is. A little times, like I'm poking a hill and I too quickly press the button and I just shoot the hill in front and I look like an idiot. And the arms as well are a bit wide and even lower. I'm clicking between this and my charger, and the charger is huge. This thing, I wonder how it will play after the rescale. Even before it, though, I found at least against everyone is using the clan laser vomit. The torsos take a fair amount of damage. It's hard sometimes to spread damage to the arms.
Yes.
And there are times if you're using laser vomit with the long duration, I'm calling someone out. They try calling me out, and I don't see why people like clan mechs, but they do.
I mean,
It's
personally,
easy fun.
I bought this mech for the looks. I probably would buy it again for the looks. It does look really pretty, but not the biggest fan of it.
So what's your thoughts about them bringing in like the Shadowhawk 2C, Locust 2C, Urban 2C, and all the other 2C mechs that are out there? And will they actually, like, what mech will be next? Just a throw out question.
I think the next one will probably be the Rifleman.
Well, besides that one.
Call that a hunch.
Call that a hunch, huh? Oh, man, you're psychic. Dude, look at that. It's out. You think like the Shadowhawk 2C?
Shadowhawk or Irby, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think they're gonna do all of them simply because people like them and they're gonna sell probably pretty well. But yeah, I have no idea what to call on which one's gonna be next.
Slowpoke 2C.
No slowpokes.
Yeah, but I continue dreaming.
Or the Mackie. Bring out the Mackie. Okay.
That might actually be interesting if they brought the Mackie. I think that's a mech people will enjoy.
And was the Mackie like 100 tons?
I don't quite recall. I just remember that it was really, really bad whenever I played it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's 100 tons. One
Okay.
PPC, 2 medium lasers, and an AC-10 as its stock arm.
Yeah, if you guys don't know what the Mackie is, Mackie was 100-ton. It was like one of the first battle mechs out there, and so it was not very efficient on how they did things.
Yeah, the Mackie is the first battle mech developed by the Lion Commonwealth House Steiner, and it's the one thing that started the whole battle mech wash in the Innisphere.
So Steiner built it. That's why it's 100 tons.
Yes,
I mean,
obviously.
Just a little note. I think it was It was the pinnacle of military technology until the plans were stolen by agents of the Larian Commonwealth. Damn Jevons.
Good. Okay, so what we got next? We got the roadmap next?
Yeah.
Okay. Ah, boy. March seems to be an interesting time.
Yeah, March is gonna be good.
March is going to be salty. Oh, boy. I got to really see this now. Learn weapon changes. Oh, joy. That's going to be salt. They are bringing back the old maps, which is amazing. Oh, my God. Cannot wait. The Forest Colony is going to be interesting for the simple reason it has that tunnel in the back.
Yes,
So that's... Yeah. Frozen City, that is a brawling map, complete brawl map. You'll see when you guys actually check this out, though. But yeah, Forest Colony is going to be a brawl inside the little tiny space that's there. That's going to be a lot of salt. And learn weapon changes. So all the PTS 2.1, 2.2, all the stuff that Chris was trying out with the vertical, like with the long range weapons, when you have line of sight and non-line of sight will be in. All different stuff that we actually practice and did inside the PTS will be out. Into the in-round screen. That's interesting. Updating the in-round screen display the amount of time a player has spent on a capture point.
Yes.
I guess that gives...
They're taking another feature from Overwatch and putting it into Mechwarrior Online. There you go.
Yep, I'm a fan of that. If a light mech has been running around capping a lot, you don't necessarily see that in the end round screen, and people sometimes complain, "Oh, look at that guy! He only did like 50 damage."
Oh.
And I sometimes have to speak up in chat and say he was the only one running around and capping, which is why the score was so close in the end. Like, don't be so mean.
Yeah.
And in the future, then you'll have, it'll say, "Oh, this guy's been standing on caps for 3 minutes." Or whatever, and you can't complain so much then because he's been doing the objective game.
Yeah, true.
Technically, I would say it shouldn't just be a matter of time, but actual progress made. Because if you're standing on a cap and an enemy's standing on the cap, that's an interesting question. But also, do you have cap accelerator? Are you a Spider 5V with the 80% faster cap speed? You know, that little spider isn't going to get much capping time because he caps so quickly.
Yeah, I know that's a good question though. That's a really good question. But two other things that really came into detail is a really nice one, allowing players to activate partial amount of premium time through the client.
Yes.
Oh my god!
We've only been asking for this particular feature since beta. Literally.
I know. It's like, I got like 9 months, and then do I want to use it now or just kind of save it? I don't know.
Yeah. So the thing is, especially back in beta with the founder package, and then later with the clan collection, people got a crap ton of banked premium time, which they don't give out anymore for the reason that people just bank it and don't activate it. And like, for example, I have 500 something days of banked premium time, which I can only activate in 30 days chunks if I go to the homepage, which I never bothered doing. And through the client, you could only activate all of it, and no one's going to activate 500 days of premium time at once.
Yeah, no.
So, yes, finally. Thank you.
That's a welcome bonus. And then also the Corsair mech will be coming out, the free one you got for Christmas. Yay! The periphery hunk of junk that's going to be an Innersphere mech.
Yeah. People are excited for the mech, so I'm looking forward to it as well.
It's a cobbled together mech of...
It's weird.
Yeah, Frankenstein mech, pretty much. It looks cool, and it has some pretty cool systems. And the first... I think the first Innersphere mech that has 4 AMS, right?
Yep, the first Innersphere mech with more than 2.
Yeah.
There's also the freebie variant, also comes with 2. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how the Corsair actually plays out. I'm not a big fan of the hard points of the quad AMS one, and I'm not sure how, what actual weapons you're going to shove under that thing's hood, but yeah, it'll be interesting.
Oh, definitely. It'll be nice. It'll be nice.
Yeah. Oh, and the most important thing about March, we're going to get weapon retrofits for 7 mech chassis. Oh my god.
You know,
that is such a big thing.
I haven't been paying attention to that kind of stuff.
I haven't even read that in the past patch notes.
I mean, you know, it's cool they're redoing that, though. This is like the reason why they're doing this is because when the new weapons came out, they didn't retrofit the mechs for the graphics for them. And we're talking about the weapon systems like the LB 20s and everything else for the Innersphere and the MERMs and everything else back 2 years ago, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, so they focused primarily on the Innersphere mech since they got the new racks and autocannons, so there's a lot of extra stuff. Clans, on the other hand, the only things that you needed to model differently were ATMs, because before there was no need to have a model with 9 tubes or 12 tubes on it, and instead they've just been using LRM 10s and LRM 15s. So hey, we've got ATM 3s, 9s, and 12s properly modeled, and technically as well, machine guns have each of the different types of machine guns have slightly different barrels, and all of them currently only have machine gun barrels. Well, now they'll have slightly longer ones for light machine guns and slightly shorter ones for heavy machine guns.
Yay!
So April, hey, retrofits for 7 other mechs. The Marauder 2 comes out. We also have Faction Play Update. This should be interesting. They haven't talked much about it, and I'm pretty sure they're going to do like a AMA or something like that for it. On No Gusto Galaxy, which is kind of interesting. But major changes in how Faction Play is activated, and for what they talked about before, I think like 2 or 3 months ago, it's more of like if you're part of a faction and stay with a faction, you get bonus things like I don't think it's paint jobs. Was it paint jobs they were talking about? Or something else.
I didn't pay that close attention.
We don't want to guess too much. There's been a lot of talk about faction play. The roadmap does specifically talk about how faction play is activated and how the matchmaker will work. Now, this is a video I think Paul made ages ago about the matchmaker, and at least back then, his suggestion was to sort of have an ELO or something like that, and it was to try and match groups with groups, solos with solos, and try and match groups that are doing well against other groups that are doing well.
That'd be kind of nice, actually.
And big groups play big groups, of course, so you don't get 6 groups of 2 against a 12-man. You have 12-mans versus 12-mans.
That'd be nice, actually. That'd be very nice. But yeah, it's welcome stuff for faction play, though.
Yeah. Additional items will be detailed in the future, so everyone stay tuned with the First Circuit podcast over the coming weeks, as we will cover all of the breaking news.
As he said in his video, the big downside, at least in my opinion somewhat, is it will be adopting a kind of Solarish matchmaking system, whereupon everyone sits in the queue and waits until a timer goes down. So, you have like a 5-minute timer or whatever, and when it reaches 0, the matchmaker takes all the groups that are around and tries to match them up as best it can. So it's not just waiting until it finds the first match, it's wait until the timer runs down, and then it puts everyone into a match.
So it's a 5-minute waiting screen then, right? Or 5 to 10 minutes or something?
Yeah, it really depends how practical that timer will actually be, and how many people are even playing Faction Warfare, which I have no clue about.
Well, if they do that, they have to up the rewards for playing Faction Warfare or something like that, because no one really likes to sit and wait warrior online. They want to go play. They want to go play Faction Warfare. They want to go do stuff, and or they could just jump in quick play and just jump in there.
Mm-hmm. April also has a balance pass scheduled.
Yep.
We don't know obviously what that is, but they're presumably going to do something like double the cooldown of Narc again, double the damage of. Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff might be coming in that patch as well.
Yeah. New Slur season. Yay. New Slur season. Hurrah. That should be interesting, I guess. I don't know.
Yay. But hey, Mechwarrior 2. I think that's the one people are most excited about for April.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely Marauder 2. So, May, Rifleman 2C. Bolt-on retrofits for Marauder 2. Winter version of Canyon Network map. So, the new maps, I'm
going to interrupt right here. That's the first map update we've gotten for, 2 years? So that is really big. We're getting finally a new map. Yay.
Presumably it'll also be cooler, so people will vote for it a lot, and we will avoid it like the plague, hopefully.
Yeah. Trial Mechs update balance pass, like we said before, we don't know what's on the balance pass, but stay tuned because we will cover it. Continued fixes and improvements. So at least they got something going up until May, so that's a good thing. And I like how they actually come ahead and say these are our ideas for this time. And if they say we want another month for faction play, take your time, man. Don't rush this stuff, because worst thing you do is rush it and be like Fallout 76 and have a really bad game. Really bad game. Now I'm not bitter on that one.
So, we'll have to wait and see, particularly like March patch. That's only like 2 or 3 weeks away. It's March 19th.
Yeah.
So, closer than you think, and we'll get the PTS changes to the lerms. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, one thing, guys, too, like when you do redeem your Mechwarrior 5 stuff, make sure it's on the right account. Don't do what old Bob did. And put it on his alt account, which then I have to go contact PGI, say I need it on old Bob, not my alt account, my Mechwarrior 5 stuff, my Marauder 2. So just make sure you guys do that. Just FYI for everyone, make sure that you're logged out of your alt account and logged into your one. You go put it in when you redeem the codes.
And hopefully you've pre-ordered, you've redeemed the Marauder 2 code in good time, because the pre-order window has already closed.
Yes, and so I lost that too because I've been busy.
This is the first second podcast, Bob. Give you all the intel on these kind of things.
Well, it's a life thing, man. Yeah, just busy as hell, dude.
On the topic of those warhorns, since we sort of forgot about that with the patch notes, what did you guys think of the new cockpit items?
Well, let me get to it. Hold on a second.
I like the Mechwarrior 5 cockpit items. All of them. That's about all I have to say.
Let me go ahead and show people what it is, because I have them all on my mech here. So first is a ballistic turret, which is kind of neat because every time you get a kill, it looks like this. Pew 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 pew.
It's literally a whack checker mech.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. And the Voltal doesn't do anything except for a swing.
It swings.
Yay, that's kind of cool. And here is the Cavalier's Warhorn. And like I said, make sure it's on the right account and not on your alt account.
Oh, Bob. Yeah, and it came out as a separate code, so you have to go back to the Mechwarrior 5 website, get that third code. It should be called like the Mechwarrior 5 item code, and redeem it. Thankfully, though, there's no pre-order bonus or whatever thing, so do it whenever you want to. You don't even have to.
Yeah. So not bad. Basically, I do like the Warren, though. The Warren's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's alright. And the Warhammer also came out with its Warhammer Warhorn. It's a hammer. Ooh, and
Okay.
it breaks up and explodes.
Yeah, it's okay.
Ian is
That
not a
was really
fan.
underwhelming for me.
Yeah.
When I last looked over my Warhorns, I saw it and I didn't even notice it was the Warhammer Warhorn. I just looked at it and was like, who designed stuff like this? I don't care.
Well, like the Phoenix Warhorns,
way.
man. Phoenix Warhorns are garbage, man. They need to redo those Phoenix Warhorns.
At least it was a bit sad getting the same Warhorn just recolored every time.
Exactly. Exactly. That's pissed
That's
me
the
off
thing
about
I
it.
like about this Warhammer Warhorn. Even if Ian doesn't like I kind of like the sound. It's like a thunderclap. It's a good ba-dum noise when you defeat someone with a big alpha strike. So that's what the kind of mechs I'm putting it on. And the animation as well. At least it's not the Phoenix Warhorn. It does this weird kind of flashing light thing, like it flashes back forward and then it breaks up and reforms again, which is pretty neat, at least visually.
Yeah, I just don't like the fact that sounds like that just tend to be lost on a battlefield when you've got ACs exploding all around you.
Yeah.
So I prefer Warhorns that have a clear and distinct sign, because
Oh, yeah.
I want people to know that I just got a kill and that I'm the greatest pilot around them and they should bow to me.
But
Yeah,
the Blissey
that
turret's
happens.
pretty cool, though. Like, I definitely like that one. That one's really nice.
Yes.
I think the best Warhorn is still the Fool's Warhorn.
Oh yeah, by far, by far. And the best standing item is a duct tape. I love that. I love that one.
But
Well,
my
kind
hula
of.
girl.
The Hula Girl.
I like
like
the
my
duct tape in my in the Orions. It goes with the kind of creaky feel and look of the mech.
True, it does. It does.
All right, I think that about wraps us up for today in terms of topics, right?
Yep, yeah,
Yes.
it does. Once again, thank you for listening to the First Circuit Podcast number 75. Leave any comments you want down below about any questions we talk about. And tonight we had Biter,
Blarg.
Ian,
Bye-bye.
and myself, Old Bob 10025. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the battlefield.